Hey guys, it's OdaibaDiver here, and I was actually in the middle of making my Should You Pull Winter Reveries video when something quite interesting popped up in the in-game notices for World of Visions JP. Now, unfortunately, this means that I will have to put up my Should You Pull Winter Reveries video only after the unit is out in global version. Now, I hope you guys will still look forward to that because I do plan to start that video with a look at a super defensive Winter Reveries build coming from someone I was able to fight in Arena at top 50 in Arena. So that should be quite interesting. For now, if you want to know if you should pull or skip Winter Reveries, I'm going to say err on the caution of skipping the unit. For myself, I am also actually not planning to pull for her. I will reevaluate that decision next Monday or Tuesday after we know what next week's unit is going to be, but for now, I'm going to say for most people, unless you really want Winter Reveries, you really don't need to pull for her. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get back to the subject of this video, which is the survey that you see here. So this is basically a questionnaire survey for players to fill in to let the developers know what kind of improvement they would like to see in the game. It also allows players to basically give them their feedback on a number of recently introduced elements in the game, such as the new guild versus environment castle siege mode, as well as the transcendence and reincarnation mechanic. So I thought it would be interesting to run through this survey with you guys so that we can have a better idea of what kind of aspects, or rather what kind of feedback Gumi is looking from players, and that may give us a hint as to what they're looking at trying to improve for next year, for the 4th year of World of Visions. I have a Google translated version of the survey here. I'm going to tell you if the translation is accurate or not. First of all, you have to fill in your player ID, so I'm going to just enter something random. I've already filled in and sent out this survey for my responses, by the way. Alright, what is your player rank? We're just gonna say it's around this rank, which is what I think most players are at anyway. And then how much... Okay, so for this question, it's actually asking how much do you spend on smartphone games each month? So let's just go ahead and lie and say that we're free to play, that we don't ever spend money in smartphone games, which is really not the case since you guys know I do spend in World of Visions. Are there any other smartphone games you currently play besides World of Visions? If there is a app game that you're playing, please enter the game name, and if you play multiple games other than World of Visions, list the games that you play the most frequently apart from World of Visions. So you can put yes here and write the name of the game that you play the most, but I'm gonna say no. From here, I would like to ask about the contents of World of Visions. What was it like playing Battlefield? So this is obviously not the name of the game mode, although I can see how the machine translation might give us this kind of stupid name. Anyway, I don't know what it will be called eventually, but in Japanese it means something like Castle Siege, Battleground of Castle Siege. And for me, and I think a lot of JP players, I'm gonna say that it wasn't that fun. The options here were fun, neither not fun, and I didn't play the mode. And then over here, they wanted to know if there are any feedback or suggestions on the kind of elements or improvements they could add to this game mode. And I typed a lot here. I basically let them know that I wish there was a way to more accurately tell the strength of the enemies that you're about to face before you go into battle. I also told them that I wish we were able to do practice or some kind of mock battle versus the enemies in this mode. And lastly, I wish that, even though there's no guild battle when the play mode is active, I still wish that they actually let us do guild battle, mock battle during the period, which they didn't let us do when the mode came to JP the previous time. Next up, please let us know if you have any opinions about Transcendence and Reincarnation, or if there are any parts you would like us to improve. So I wrote a lot here as well, mostly that I wish that the pace of the materials that we're able to get for free is much faster. because right now it definitely doesn't feel fast enough for sure. So a lot of players, including myself, we don't even get to experience a lot of it yet. Next question, number 9. Do you like PvP content such as arenas and match battle? Yes, I do. How often do you play arena and match battles, etc.? I play frequently and aim for ranking. Although you could also fill in that you play frequently but you don't go for rankings, or one of the interesting answers here is I guess there are people who only play one battle a day. Please let us know what you think about arena match battle and if there are any elements you would like us to improve or add. I didn't have any feedback, so I skipped this question. Tell us how long you've been playing mock battle. So this refers to the mock battle in Guild War, and I have to say I play it a lot as a competitive guild battle player. Do you like events with cost limits such as class matches and limited time guild battles? I put yes here. Please let us know if you have any opinions about limited time guild battle, or if there are elements you would like us to improve or add. Again, no feedback here. But I would definitely love to hear from you guys watching this video. Like, is there anything about class match or about limited guild battle that you guys wish would have been added to World of Visions? Let me know in the comments below in this video. Which do you prefer, PvP content or PvE content in World of Visions? Some people like both, but personally for me, I prefer the PvP portions. In World of Visions content, do you prefer solo content or multiplayer content, meaning guild and other stuff like that? I prefer the multiplayer content more. Please let us know if you have any opinions about White Porcelain Tower, or if there are any parts you would like us to improve, or elements you would like to add. So I think this is an aspect in the game that a lot of people probably have some feedback on. Personally, for me, I wish that they would let us have enough party slots so that I can make one party for every single floor in the tower. So that in repeat instances of clearing the tower, you can just load up your specific party for each floor and not have to waste time tweaking anything, and you can just go ahead with your team that way. So that's what I actually wrote here. Please let us know what you think of Trials of Reckoning, and if there is anything you would like for us to improve or add. Over here I wrote I wish they would let us to background repeat for the boss battles, and actually in JP they've confirmed that in the future they will make this possible. Please let us know what you think about the raid boss event, and if there are any points you would like us to improve or add. I wrote here as well that I wish I can use background repeat on the raid bosses. Unlike the previous question with regards to Trials of Reckoning, so they've confirmed in-game already that background repeat will be coming to Trials of Reckoning boss fights, but as for raid, we haven't heard anything about that. So definitely this is something I wish they would do for raid bosses as well. Which part of the World of Visions UI would you like to see fixed? Trust Stones, Guild, this is Transcendence and Reincarnation, and then Formation, etc. For this, I wrote that I wish we could sort vision cards by the elements or by weapon class. And actually I forgot to mention this, I forgot to put this in my survey response, but I also wish they would make an improvement in Trust Stones whereby we can directly equip Trust Stones to characters instead of having to equip it to the actual TMR equipment instead. But obviously there's a lot of things you can try and talk about here. I'm definitely curious as to what you guys think can be improved for the World of Visions UI. Let me know in the comments. Please let us know if you have any feedback with regards to weapon type vision cards, or if there are any parts you would like us to improve or elements you would like us to add. I wrote the same thing here. I wish they would allow us to sort by weapon type. What new content would you like to see in World of Visions in the future? Solo, guild, GVG, GVE, etc. So over here I wrote that I wish for some kind of roguelike gameplay mode, which I believe AFK Arena and I think Alchemy Stars has. So that kind of thing I would definitely love for some kind of mode like that to be in War of the Visions. I actually played the roguelike mode in Arknights quite a lot, so it was actually my favorite mode in the game, and I quit Arknights, but I went back just to play that roguelike mode because I had so much fun with it. And then the other thing I wrote that I told them I wish they would try and make in the future is, so in Arknights, if you guys are familiar with it, has this mode called Contingency Contract, which is a puzzle-like mode where you get to pick what kind of gimmicks, what kind of stage difficulty stuff that you want to add to the stage to make it harder for yourself, and so you can challenge yourself. For people who are not, who don't have a lot of things in the game, you can just play the stage and clear it at the lower difficulties. But for the players who have everything, it's really quite a lot of fun to turn all of the stage gimmicks and mechanics on, and you try and come up with a solution to beating the stage. So I had a lot of fun playing Contingency Contract in Arknights, and I do wish that they might consider making some kind of content similar to that for War of the Visions. But of course, I am sure you guys have a lot of suggestions as well. I would love to hear what you guys would like for War of the Visions. Do let me know. And then next up, from here, I would like to ask about the scenario and characters for War of the Visions. Is the main story for War of the Visions easy to understand? I put somewhat easy to understand. How do you feel about the update frequency for War of the Visions main story? Way too slow, right? You guys feel the same way? Are there any characters you would like to see depicted in the side stories, including past stories for the character? I couldn't think of anyone, so I didn't put anything here. Are there any characters you would like to see more of in the main story? Same thing, I don't really have a clear idea of who I would like to see more. And are there any characters you don't like? So for this one, I think I put in Gargus and Mia because I just can't really, I don't know, for some reason I just don't like them. Have you read the main story up to date? Technically I have not, but I put the option here that says I finished reading all of it. The other options, because they are poorly translated, over here it says, the original text says, I was reading it but stopped halfway. Over here it says that you skip all of the story cutscenes and you just go for quest completion for the rewards. And then over here it says that you don't read the main story. What kind of scenario would you like to see in the War of the Visions story events? Basically, this question is asking what kind of stuff, what kind of direction you want to see for event stories in War of the Visions. So there's 3 options here, and they want feedback for all 3 types of content. The first type is serious event stories that match the worldview. So this one is something I think is quite important and quite interesting. And then the second type is fun stories with gag elements. So I believe this will be something like the Detective Leela event story. Again, this is something I would very much like to see. And then the third kind is something seasonal. So some kind of seasonal event, like for example Valentine's, or summer is here, maybe there could be some beach-based content. I think maybe there are people out there who would love this kind of stuff, but personally I feel that it's not as creative as the gag stuff or the main or the worldview stuff. So I actually picked no for this. I wouldn't want to see it. Next up, besides in-game scenario recollections, are you interested in edited scenario summary videos? So I believe this question, they are basically asking if there is a need for them to produce some kind of edited cutscene that will recap the story for you guys, for players in general. And previously they actually talked about this before in some of the official JP live streams. They thought that for the people who are not caught up to the story, it might make sense to produce this kind of cutscene for them to better understand the story. And as somebody who finished reading, or rather more or less read every single piece of main story content, I picked not interested for this. It's a waste of development resources. And then next up, the next question 31, I would like to ask you about the upcoming War of the Vision stuff. What are you looking forward to in the 4th year of War of the Visions? Please select up to 2 things you're looking forward to. So the options here, and they are randomized each time. You can pick a review of the rewards given out at events. You can pick UI revamp or UI improvements. Real event over here refers to events in real life. And then next up here is units with new capabilities. So basically, if you would like to see new units that have new kinds of capabilities or abilities, then this is what you would take. And then over here is new types of content, including content that can be participated by a large number of people. And finally, if you have feedback on improvements for the game other than all these things that are listed, you can go ahead and pick this and it will lock out everything else. But personally, I picked UI improvements and new content. And lastly, for the final question in the... Oh, actually, no, this is not the final. This is the second last question. Please let us know if there are any works you would like us to collaborate with for War of the Visions in the future, including for manga, anime, and other games. And I put here Spy Family because I really enjoy watching it, and I think it's a good fit. Lastly, if you have any other opinions or requests regarding the operations of War of the Visions, please let us know. I think I put in something here, but I don't actually remember what I put in. Alright, so that's all the questions for the survey. So looking at the questions, or rather the areas they want feedback on, it definitely feels like the operations team in Japan at least is looking at making the tower better, making other forms of new content for players to enjoy. So because of that, they came up with this survey to try and get some ideas on what might be interesting to players. It also looks like they are seriously taking into consideration player feedback with regards to transcendence and reincarnation. So for those of you watching this who are worried about how the whole level 140 situation might not be healthy for the game in the future, for now I can tell you that for sure, even though we do have players and guilds who have people running as many as 2 maximum reincarnation units in their teams, I can tell you for a fact that you can still definitely beat teams with those units by just using good strategy in your teams. And right now there are a lot of players in JP who realize that as long as they put together a good team, even though it's a team consisting only of level 120 units, it's really enough to be able to beat those kind of maximum level 140 kind of teams. So for now, I would say that the game is actually in a fairly good place, even though if you look at all the stat improvements, it may not seem that way. But of course, we don't know if in the future, if this direction might be healthy for the game. So that's why they're asking people about how they feel about the new mechanic. And I feel that if there's any, obviously they're going to get a lot of feedback on that from the JP players. So if you're someone who's worried about that mechanic, rest assured that they're looking into it already and seeing if they need to make any kind of improvements to make the game better, to make that mechanic better for us. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. I'll leave it up to you guys if you guys want to, go and try and fill out the survey. It's really meant for JP players, so ideally, I don't think people in the global side of things, unless you're playing JP version, of course. If you don't play the JP version, it's probably not a good idea to do this survey because it may it may actually skew the results of the survey, and that's not something we want. So, just let them have this, just let them try and make the improvements based on the JP players' feedback. And then I'm sure, sometime next year, the global operations team will probably do some way of getting feedback from the players, and we can give our feedback then. For now, if you do have any, I'm actually quite curious what you guys think, what your feedback on, many of the questions asked in the survey here is like, for example, if there's like a particular thing you want World of Visions to collab with, or if you have certain improvements you would like to see in the game, do let me know in the comments below. And yeah, that's it for this video. I do have some other stuff that I'm putting out later today, such as the Should You Pull Winter Reveries video. I hope you guys will look forward to that. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.